So what we saw last Saturday at Elimination Chamber was historic. Like, that is not hyperbole. While some people might have sensed it could happen, and a lot of people have wanted it to happen for a very, very, very long time, to see John Cena basically go fuck them kids mode and turn and join with The Rock, like, it was a moment, right? It is a you had to see it to believe it kind of moment. This is something a lot of us thought would never happen. And it finally did. Now, do I think it's crazy to sit there and say, well, this is even bigger than when Hogan aligned with the Outsiders and he dropped the big boot on, the leg drop on Randy Savage, and no. Like, let's not get too carried away here. It's also a different time in the industry. It represented something different. Just a lot of that, right? Hogan was still relatively at the peak of his power in his career, even in WCW. So it's a different time, different landscape, different perspectives, whatever. But the Cena one's way up there. It absolutely is. This is a really big effing deal. And I guess the ultimate question is going to be, is this going to be great? Or is this going to be a massive raging disappointment? And it's one of those things where you've had people looking for this for 15 and in some cases 20 years. It could naturally create expectations that are so high, so damn high, that there's no possible way it can live up to them. And that is true, and that is a risk, and that's something I'm trying to kind of temper my expectations a little bit with, right? Is look at the current reality and not so much allow the 10, 15, 20 years of wanting to see this happen get carried away. I certainly think there's a place now where John Cena is kind of like, well, fuck it mode. The company's in a pretty good spot. The pressure's not on me to have to be the hero anymore, the wannabe hero. I can do something different and something interesting. And deep down, and I think a lot of us have probably sensed this, especially in recent years when he's come back at sporadic times, not just because he was in Hollywood mode, but you could kind of sense that he was in fuck it mode. Like, I'm coming back because I love this place, I love doing this, and I miss it, but I don't give that much of a shit. Like, you could sense it and you could feel it, right? Like, the Mania match with Austin Theory was a fucking dud. Like, you get that sense and that vibe of like, it wasn't the same Cena from like a desire and a passion standpoint. It just is what it is. But this is now something that's interesting, something that's different, something that is unique, something that allows him to express himself in a different way. Now, for all those people that may have sat there and said that this was actually dumb and they don't understand why he would align with The Rock, like, a couple of things. Number one, so much about what Cena's been about has always been bullshit. He's the hero, he's the baby face. No, he was the fucking obstacle. He was the ultimate villain or heel. So even when we talk about it as a heel turn, in a traditional sense, I guess it technically is, but in fucking reality, it absolutely is not. It's just fully acknowledging the heel that he's always fucking been, right? Additionally, all that shit that he used to talk about The Rock being a sellout and The Rock going Hollywood and Rock forgetting where he came from, John Cena did the same fucking thing. Birds of a feather flock fucking together. And when you think about it from a character standpoint, a guy on his swan song, his farewell tour, his last ride, wanting to win his 17th championship to set a record, to cement his legacy. If you can align yourself with the final boss to make that happen, a lot of other people fucking would too. Like, it makes all types of worldly fucking sense. In fact, saying that it doesn't make sense at this point is frankly kind of stupid. It is. Now, my thing is like, how epic is this really going to be? Because if it is only going to last throughout this year, there is only but so much you're going to be able to do with it. And as exciting as it is to think about, like, you're going in a new direction and you're doing something different with this character that has needed an overhaul for 15 fucking years, I sit there and say, it's probably 10 years too late. At least 5 years too late. And arguably way too fucking late now, unless he's going to be around past 2025 in any type of meaningful capacity. Because what's the point? Now you're going to sit there after years of people waiting for this. You're going to hot shot this through the spring and the summer, and then by the fall you're winding it down. Like, who fucking wants to see that? Like, when you make this type of turn, it needs to be a minimum 2-year, 3-year to even 5-year type of deal. Especially with as much history as John Cena had on the alleged other side of the fence, even though he's been a fill-in for a really, really long fucking time. And I just worry, like, you go into WrestleMania, he's taking on Cody Rhodes. Like, obviously, number one, he has to beat Cody Rhodes. If he doesn't beat Cody Rhodes, and this is just one of the dumbest finger fuck wastes of time ever. Like, what the hell are we doing? He has to beat Cody Rhodes. And then where do you go from there? And then how long does that last? Now, me personally, I'd love the thought of seeing R-Truth getting a little serious. A little serious, not too much though, and be like, it's his childhood hero, John Cena. And he said, fuck them kids. Why? You have forsaken us. And like, you could make an R-Truth versus Cena angle, but I realize that's more fan fiction than reality at this point. But as much as I want this to be something really cool, as much as I want this to be something that we're really going to be able to sink our teeth into, it feels like, to me, and it's just a sense of, it's going to feel a lot like a part-time dick tease that isn't going to matter a whole hell of beans. And in reality, it's going to be one of those things will be like, what if? What if he wasn't retiring at the end of this year, allegedly? What if you did this 2 or 3 years ago? What if you had done this the night after WrestleMania 28, which apparently was going to be the original plan after all? What if you had done this back in the summer of Punk in 2011? So many opportunities to do this. And yes, the opportunity presented itself now, but it does in some ways feel like it's too damn late. And just like when you sit there and you get going and you feel like it's going to really pay off, you're going to really pop, then it's just going to die out like a thud. So I hope, if it is only going to last this year, then WWE and Cena better maximize the fuck out of this. Because if they don't, it's going to be one of those things we look back on in 10, 15, 20 years or even sooner and say, well, yeah, that moment was great, but then the rest of it afterwards was a wet fucking fart. You know, kind of like when Punk won the belt at Money in the Bank 2011, the pipe bomb. People look at those things and say, like, those are two great, tremendous moments. And then they fucking squandered it by bringing him back 8 days later because you just had to have him back for SummerSlam, and then he jobs out there, and then he jobs out the next several pay-per-views in a row, and it's too fucking late. You've ruined it. You've ruined it. Now, me buying a John Cena shirt for the first time in my life, that's going to fucking hit like crack. Especially if they release a new shirt, and they better release a new fucking shirt. I don't want that hokey-ass farewell tour bullshit. We need some corporate Hollywood Cena gear. That's what I'm talking about. But you know, what's going to be interesting is Cena embracing who he always has been is going to put him on a different level that any of the so-called baby faces, up to and including Cody, they won't be able to hang. They can't bang. So I even wonder, like, it's not just about Cena and what you do with him, but who are you going to pair him up with? Who's he going to work with? Who can actually go toe-to-toe? And unfortunately, I think the options are pretty goddamn limited. Now, what would be great, obviously, if you had him win the belt from Cody and you go on some two-man power trip and it goes all the way through to the next WrestleMania and you pay it off by having somebody like a Braun Breaker as the Royal Rumble winner come in and retire Cena, win the fucking title. Like, that's how big time business is fucking done. And you now set up the next damn generation. As unlikely as that is going to happen. I am curious to see what they're going to do. It certainly piqued my interest in WrestleMania season, Elimination Chamber, and in particular the Cena character turn, because I wasn't looking forward to it before. I certainly am now. But I'd be lying right now if I said I didn't have a lingering fear in the back of my mind that this is all going to end up being a disappointment and a gigantic waste of everybody's time, where we're sitting there saying to ourselves, you fucking waited too long to do this and didn't give us enough time with it.